I hope there's somebody out there because I saw somebody was waiting in chat. I also hope I'm coming through loud and clear because this is the first time I've streamed in quite some time. I've just had a nightmare trying to get live because the OBS software got updated and Google's changed the way it's done a load of things. And Ekmar is here. Ekmar, could you say something in chat specific if you can hear me? That would be much appreciated because, as I say, I've just had a bit of a challenging start to this stream, I've got to say. The sort of routine that I'd got myself into a little while ago, maybe a year or so ago, made it all very, very easy, and it's no longer that easy. It's actually quite tough now. Voice volume is low. Okay. Let's see if that's a little better. Yeah, not much of a plan today. This was literally just a last-minute decision. I've had a pretty hectic week, and I've got a bit of time off next week, hopefully, if all things go according to plan. So I thought I would make the most of it and start out with something fun, like a little live stream. Okay, let's just have a bit of a play. Can I hear any of my stuff? Yeah, this is where it all goes terribly sideways. We have sound at my end. As always, a sound check would be much appreciated. I will do a couple of checks as well to see what else I've got in the way of volume controls on OBS. Radio. Yeah, I can see my audio volume's a little bit low. Hopefully my mic is a little better now. We're going to start off with just some ambience because all of this gear now is set up in a way that yeah, you are supposed to hear music. Yeah, I think I know why that is. Maybe we're only doing audio through the mic. Thank you for that. I will start a little rhythm going, and then when you can hear that, if you could let me know. Thanks, Peter. Yeah, welcome back. It's been a while since I've streamed. Can you hear anything in the way of audio, music, or rhythms at this point? That's got me foxed. I don't know why that might be. I have a nasty feeling that this is going to be a restart the stream job in order to get the audio through. Yeah. All right, Emo. We're just working through technical issues. Yeah, it is. It's audio track 1 that's going through to the stream, and audio track 2, I tend to record the music on. So that'll be why. Okay, yeah. We will restart the stream if I can. All right, I'll see you in a moment or two. All right. I hope I'm back. Yay, we've got beats. Okay. Technical hurdle 1 overcome. So how the hell have you been? I hope you guys have been well. Life's been a bit of a whirlwind at this end. Tag Buddha. Willkommen. Aber alles meine Deutsch vergessen. Vergisst? I don't know. Focusing on the same gear is it's partly driven by necessity because I can't fit anything else on the desk. I don't want to spend any more money, but I've got to say that I've been lucky enough or careful enough that the gear that I use just does everything that I want it to now. The Novation launchpad launch control here has made a massive change to everything I'm doing at the minute, and I'll talk about that in a minute. think that'll do me for a starter for 10. Okay, you're going to hear some weird background noise, probably like the phasing and flanging is going to be processing like background noise. Anyway, let me catch up with chat. Beat Parbs 198, nice to see you, thank you for popping in. This is completely unscheduled stream. I've always planned to do like a regular stream, but in the last year or so I kind of didn't. It kind of fell apart in a lot of ways. I produce the odd video here and there. I'm hopefully back. We'll just see how it goes. I'm not putting any more pressure on myself than I need to. Emo and Peter are having a chat, normal activity. Yeah, I think finding the right gear is part of the battle. But once you've got some gear, finding your way round that and trying to figure out what works for you is of paramount importance. And trying to find the bits of a piece of gear that work for me is what's important. It's not like learning every function on any piece of gear. My TR8S, I use what's on the front panel. And I've made a few kits that I play with, and I don't dive into the menus when I'm performing. So there's a bit of homework to do to make up kits or to sort of redesign things when I feel like it. But once I've done that homework, I don't play with the back end very much. I just play with what's on the front panel. The circuit, again, similarly, I've got a couple of instruments that I set up, one for each of the synths, and I don't tend to use the samples on it. That's something that I would like to do more of, and in fact I have unlocked some of them. So we can do a bit of that. The Edge, I very rarely play with a patch bay, just because that on top of everything else while I'm performing live is too much. And the looper, I use one scene, and it's got something ridiculous like 64 scenes or something like that. I just used the front panel. Again, it depends what your aims are, but for me it's like find what works for me in a given setting, and that is live performance, and anything else I'll play with. But it won't become core to what I do. So, do I use Ableton, says Parbs? Yes, I do, but far less often than this lot. I spend a lot of my working day in front of a computer, so I'm reluctant to spend hours in front of Ableton. I'm also loving the hands-on nature of hardware, and for that reason I feel like I'm a bit restrained when I'm in Ableton, because I don't know it inside out the way I know some of these bits. What else are we on? New Korg Chaos Pad coming is fire. I've not played or looked at that, but I gather it's coming. How long till I get TR1000? I probably won't unless I get a lottery win. This does me fine. I would love some proper analog sound, but the ACB stuff's okay. It does what you need, unless you're really, really into that. For the price tag, I should think it's probably great, but I don't have that price tag in my wallet. Emo nearly ordered a T1000, had it ready to pay monthly, then thought otherwise. It's a beast with 2,500. I'm guessing that's euros. Yeah. Oops, clang. It's an extortion. No, it's not extortionate. It's very pricey. So if you're a pro, and it's your bread and butter paying for gear and then using it all day every day because you are a pro musician, then I guess it's okay. But for a hobbyist or a beginner, aspiring YouTube musician, then it's a bit steep. DJ Mello, are you the guy always streaming with a mono station? I don't know who DJ. Oh, that's it. Sorry, talking about Emo. Yeah, Emo's got the mono station. I've seen him use it. Gosh, chat's busy today. This is nice. Pretty huge, the T1000. Yeah, it is. Okay, I'll let you guys have a chat, and I'll talk, because I love talking sometimes, about the launch control and what it's doing. Underneath here, the underneath the drum machine is a little MIDI host unit that allows this thing to talk to the circuit without computer intervention. And what I can do is, with synth 1 on the circuit, I can change a lot of the parameters here. Let me get rid of the ridiculous levels of reverb. Mixer, FX, let's turn that off. So we've got a rather weedy synth sound here. And with this, I can change a lot of the parameters of the synthesizer. So we'll go for a standard sine wave. I'll change my filter to a low pass 12. Turn off all of the detune and sync and stuff like that. There we go, sine wave. So yeah, I can change an awful lot of stuff on this synth. That's good. So I can change all that kind of stuff on here. The waveforms, the pulse width index, the tuning, the virtual sync, the density detune, all that distortion, filter drive, attack, decay, sustain, release. And then, of course, the circuit itself has a sequencer, so I can do all that on the fly without a computer and without digging into here, which makes it a lot more hands-on. And because you can play it note for note on the actual device, I can then record loops on the looper, and that's where my sort of attention's gone recently. Rather than trying to sequence everything on the circuit and just have that sequence loop playing back, I've been like creating textural sort of loops on here. So I'll give you an example of the kind of thing I'm talking about, so because I talk too much and don't play enough. Let's turn that down. So that is now a loop. And techno being techno, there you go, dark side techno. So that's kind of what I've been playing with, rather than, as I say, having very basic plinky plonky synths. I've been like creating like textural loops and stuff, and that's a lot of fun. Chat's going crazy still. TR1000 has a lot of the MC707 DNA in there as well. I would love a 707 to go alongside this thing. I think for me though, the circuit does a lot of the things that the 707 would. What else we got? you can literally make textures and drones and underlayers, and then bring in the techno beats on the brain, and the 1000 is everything we could want. Yeah, that would be nice. The more fader on the 1000, that's a little bit like the Electron gear, I guess. That they've been keen on like faders between different parameter locks, I think they call them. Okay. We're going for more noise. Okay, I don't know whether you'd call that a tune. Who's here? Reconsider it, my man. Cheers, moment. How you doing? I'm having a blast here. As I say, I've unlocked a bunch of stuff on this gear and the way it works, and just the textural nature of the stuff that I can make is kind of fun for me. Just unlocking sounds that I can make on the fly, and then just stick them in this loopy thing. Reconsider it's your man when it comes to loopers. He lives and breathes them. So this is sort of fun because I can. Well, that's not worked. Let me try again. Effects. Turn that on. Turn on the effects. Good evening, Victor Cyberpunk's music's here. We're going back in the depths now. Four on the floor because we can. This is turning out louder than I thought. I don't know where I'm going with this. Who's doing what? Every adventure is a journey. Every journey is an adventure. This is a good way of looking at it. I think over analyzing stuff is my biggest downfall. At least I think it is. I need to give that more consideration. See that getting the 505 some use right now. Oh. Yeah, are we talking about me? This is the 202. But yeah, it's kind of like core to what I do right now. It's gone from being sitting there and just making the odd kind of like overall sound change to now being a core part of the set with loops going left, right, and center, which is fun. Except it craps out a little bit from time to time. I found if I have like a short loop that I make first, and then I try and make a long loop on the other channel, it doesn't like it. I have to make a long one first and then a shorter one. I don't know why. You guys are chit-chatting away. This is really nice to see a little community, or medium-sized community maybe. How many people are on the chat? I can't tell. Let me just have a nosy. Oh, we've got 7 of you here. This is nice. This is kind of cute. 8 currently, says Emo. Okay. Well, maybe I'm not counted in my numbers. So, yeah, okay. 7 now. So, tell me about you. What kind of stuff do you think you're missing when you scan through all your favorite YouTubers and all the other people that you kind of glance at every so often? What's missing? I mean, I've toyed with, well, I haven't toyed with, I've made tutorials here and there. I've made live sets, I've made videos about creativity, what I know about it. I've looked at social commentary and decided, no, I'm staying away from that because everybody seems to be doing it. The hardware jammers challenges look to be a lot of fun, and everybody seems to be getting a lot out of that. But I don't know. I don't want to work to somebody else's schedule, so I've kind of stayed away from doing that. All power to anybody who has been making stuff for the hardware jammers. Yeah, noodles are never done. They're supposed to be 10 minutes, apparently, or till they're al dente, which is around 10 minutes, but I don't know. My noodles take me half an hour to an hour here. Yeah. I might sort of call a halt pretty soon, because it's a Friday evening and there is a lady who sits in the other room watching her husband make noises on boxes of electrical equipment, and occasionally sort of says, "Are you finishing anytime soon?" And I then look at her and say, "Possibly." But if I've got an audience, then I can't really just abandon you. That would be rude. I think I've used my 909 kit a fair bit today. What else have we got here? Let's turn the other bits down first and I'll audition my kit. A few people have asked about the kits that I've got on the TR-8S. I suppose I can talk a little bit about those, because they're all set up in a similar way. Sometimes it's simple ramen. Yeah, it is. Today, on the menu, I've got a few different kits here, and they're kind of difficult for you to see on the screen here, but the first one I've got is like an 808-ish kit. So let's go back to that one. Turn everything up. Bass drum, standard. Saturation, decay, tuning. Nothing special. Snare drum. Yeah, that's not snare drum. That one should go out through another cable and into something else as like a sub bass, but it doesn't because I haven't got the cable in, and I don't need that channel anyway. Low tom channel. This is a frequency modulation sound, which is very flexible. I can turn ring modulation, or I can adjust the master effects and adjust a lot of the tuning on that as well through that bit. What's next? Oh, this is another one, so I could have two of those at the same time. So I'll give you a quick demo of that. So those two. So you can get quite a lot of techno-ish stuff out of those two. Especially when you go nuts with sound effects. So that's a really good tip for the 8S. Get a couple of just plinky sounds and then put ring modulations on them. And you've got yourself like instant clav, or whatever you call them, clave hits. What else? Oh, my favourite, the maracas. Everybody needs a pair of maracas. Rim shot, I think. No, snare drum. Why would you not put snare drum on the snare drum channel? Because you're using it for sub bass, that's why. Hand claps. Oh, actually, finger snaps on this one. Standard closed hat and open hat. This is white noise. Everybody should have white noise on their drum kit because you can do so much with it. I think that's my opinion. With a high pass, low pass filter on it. And then a cymbal, 808 cymbal. Again with high pass, low pass filter. So a lot of my kits are set up in the same way. Bass drum, some percussive elements, hand claps, that kind of thing, maybe a snare drum, hi-hats, open and closed, and then white noise / cymbals. So it's not that different from here, but that's kind of what it does. And then the 909 one that I made is very similar. Let's sort of audition that one again. Not all the way through with every. We've got toms instead of 2 frequency modulation sounds, but whenever I put cymbals on, I always use a high pass, low pass filter because it sounds so good. You can do so much with it. And ride cymbals as well. I love the 909 ride cymbal. Excuse me. Going to do a video about the mono station and VSTs. Yeah, the mono station doesn't get that much love. It's been out for quite some time, and it does look like a really cool piece of kit. I think for me, I'd need to whack it through a load of effects because the raw analog sound is pretty similar to the Bass Station 2, because it's kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of like a Bass Station 2 with a circuit sequencer on it, which is, again, awesome. But the raw Bass Station, for me, sounds a bit it needs something to beef it up or to wash it down, whichever you prefer. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Near 1,000, Peter. May the force be with you. Oh, is that your channel count now? That's neat. That's neat. Very well done. Um, it's a brutal journey to get more subscribers if that's what you're after. I mean, I can't lie. I do keep my eye on my subscriber count, and I get a bit of a boost when I see somebody else join. But having been doing this for like 3 years now, I've tempered my expectations. It's like I just if something works out and I suddenly get income of a load of subscribers, that's lovely. What I do find is it's the most unexpected stuff that really hits well and gets sudden people coming in, and it's almost like a shame for me if I suddenly get an influx of subscribers on a video that I was thinking I'm just going to do this one because it just seems to be a standout idea, and then I get like 500 or 50 new subscribers from that one video. It's like, I wasn't planning on doing a series of those, but maybe there's an appetite for them. Anyway, Peter T just loves the live improvised techno. Yeah, keep doing what you do, is what I say. For me, it's the only thing that I consistently come back to on YouTube. As Ekmar knows, there is something else in the works which has been ongoing for a year or so, but I have rapidly hit the point where that's going to have its own channel because it's just too different to the way I approach this channel. And that is that comic book that I did some live streaming about and some drawing online. It's got a story now. It's got an artwork style, and it's got a proof of concept which is nearly finished. It's like a Victorian horror / time travel / action adventure story in black and white illustration, and I'm really, really pleased with what it's turned into so far, but it needs so much work. And as I say, if I sit in front of a computer for hours during the day, sitting in front of the computer for hours in the evening to then do the comic book is tough. Plus, it's taken until like maybe a month or so ago for the story to get to where it needed to be. And that involves me then going back and doing a load of work on the drawing, on the proof of concept bit. But yeah, as I say, that's a sidetrack from all this electronic music. I'm going to call a halt for now. I've really enjoyed coming back and doing some streaming, and I will try and do it again in future. I'll take the pressure off myself of having a program of works, if you like. So it'll just be me doing what I've been doing today. If I do come back and do this regularly, it'll just be literally just noises and playing and making grooves and answering any questions and enjoying your company. So I hope that's of interest. 8 people on board the Conatop Deep Space Signal Relay is a bit of a boost for me in a January that's a bit dark and it's a bit of hard work. So much love, guys. I really hope you're doing well. Look after yourselves. If you could like the stream, if you have liked the stream, that would be really, really good. Yeah, more soon, hopefully. I don't. There's a lot of people that do. Peace out. I don't. I'm very English. I do. Have a nice evening. See you soon.